Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast. Today in my studio, we have a very special guest, a person of art, a person who will share with us her transformation story and her journey from just being a girl who dreamed to be on a stage and sing her own songs to the one who's actually standing on the stage right now and sharing with the world through the music her personal story, her thoughts, her feelings, and her story. This episode will be useful for any kind of artist or person who pursue his path, purpose, and struggles sometimes as any of us of keep going, never giving up, of finding your way of doing things, not just following trends or how it's supposed to be. So today, Nastya will share with us more what is actually the healing power of art. Because this topic is also very close to me as a person who paints. So welcome to our studio today.
Hi.
Hi, and we will begin with my favorite question, which is basically tell me and tell us who you are, but from the perspective of your transformation story, who you were before and who you are right now.
Okay, that's a complicated question, very complex question. Um, I guess we start with the girl who actually like for years, for decades, wanted to start singing because it was a huge passion for me since I was a little girl, and I just put the dream on the side, because of the family conditioning, because nobody really believed in me, and art in general was not supported. And that was the person who was scared to share her voice creatively. And now I'm not saying that, I'm ideally transformed, not scared at all to share my voice. I still am in some ways, but I do write my songs, I release my music, I share that with the world, and I perform my songs on stage. And I really think that writing my own songs was one of the most powerful, most important things that I started doing for myself and for my healing and for my transformation.
And what was before that? Put me into the context of your life, your maybe family situation, a child who wants to be an artist. In our countries, it's not really a real job. It's not really something that your parents would choose for you.
Yeah.
How was that part of your journey going?
I mean, I guess I was growing up in the family where it's not like I was not allowed to. I was kind of ignored in some way, I guess, because when I was singing, my parents really didn't see the talent. Like there were some teachers, friends, grandparents who saw my talent, and but not my parents, because my mom was busy, with her life, and I don't know.
Who believed in you first?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, because I had one person who really believed in me. It was my grandfather, because he really saw like she's gonna be a singer. That's my girl. She's gonna be a singer, and it's still like when I have dark night of the soul, it's still in the moments when I'm like thinking about him, and I can't give up. I can't give up. He believed in me, and I should keep going.
So on that point of your life, what was the context of your life? Where you were living? What was the reality around you? Did you really had lots of the chances to become a singer?
I mean, I was growing up in small town till I was 9 years old, and I guess there were no possibilities there. I mean, there always are in some way, right? But I mean, I had some singing classes in school, had some singing teachers, but not for a long time. And when I moved to St. Petersburg, to the big city when I was 9 years old, yeah, there were much more possibilities, but still my family didn't really, like help me to go there. So I started to do singing classes and like really invest in that when I turned 22 years old. Before that, I tried many times and it just, I don't know, I just didn't go there.
But you tried many times and you failed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What allowed you not to stop but keep going? What kind of thoughts you had? Because I know lots of people who's asking me this question. Where should I stop? Like, if I tried once, 2 times, 3 times, and still the world is not giving me what I want, maybe it's the sign that I shouldn't proceed. Like, I shouldn't fight so hard. Why you kept going?
I guess it just, even though it's still easy to forget sometimes about your deepest desires in life that you had from your childhood, it's very easy to get lost, like in money making and all this like stuff. And but I was always brought back to that, to my inner little girl who just, I don't know, stand on the chair and sing with her grandmother's brush and like enjoys that so much. Like, I just always get back to that. I guess that's what helped me to keep going, even though, of course, I have moments of huge fallbacks. Like, that happens. Yeah, I think.
What was those
Yeah.
moments? The upside downs of your journey of becoming an artist. What maybe the moment that you cherish the most? That when you remember the moment that you felt like I'm in the right place, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is it. This is me doing my thing.
When I'm on stage, when I'm really like, I'm standing on stage, I see people listening to me singing, even though it can be just 10 people or 20 people or 50 people, whatever. It was 500 people. It doesn't matter. Like, when you see people listening to you from the stage, that's the moment when I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm in the right place. That's exactly where I need to be. That feels just so right. Honestly, I don't know like where else I feel more natural and in the right place. I'm not sure if there is any other place except
For
stage.
those people who also consider maybe not only artistic careers, but any kind of career that not that linear, that not that suitable to the metrics, and they're questioning, is this a thing that I need to do? Is this my purpose, my calling? Can you maybe share with us what kind of feelings and emotions you're feeling when you're 100% sure that you're following your path?
Yeah, that's the thing that I tell my students and people I meet on the way who really thinks about start singing journey or like any artistic expression. I'm like, if you watching somebody doing something, I don't know, on Instagram reels, on the internet, or like in real life, doesn't matter, painting or singing or writing songs or anything else, and you looking at them and you feel like you having this like goosebumps all around your body, and you feel like that's what I should do, like that's what I should do, that's what I should do. Like, you hear this voice inside of you just like, that's my place, I need to do that too. Most of the times it's not like your ego speaking, it's your soul speaking, just like so quiet but so loud at the same time. Because I'm sure that everyone has these moments, Like when you just looking at someone on stage and you're like, I want that too. Yeah, I mean, it can be from the wrong place, like from the place of ego, like, oh, I want to become popular. It's so cool. Everyone's looking at you. You're under the spotlight. But most of the times, if you really have this goosebumps and like, I can see myself there doing that, that's probably it. That's the feeling you should trust.
How to really identify if my desire of standing on stage is created by ego or it's something that my soul tells me to do?
Good question. That's a difficult question. But again, as I described, like goosebumps, just like the whole body feeling, I think that's when your soul speaking. When you just like, in your mind, like, oh, that's cool. That's like, I want to do it too. Like, that would be cool. That's also fine. We can try different things without, like attachment to like to longer path. Yeah, goosebumps and this like feeling I should be there. And it's like, it's very quiet, again, just maybe on the back of your mind, but it's not your mind. I believe it's just your soul speaking. Yeah, I think it's like the voice, but at the same time it's the whole body responding to that. I think it's the whole body feeling.
Connection of your mind and body.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, if it's just your mind continuously like, hey, that's cool, you should try, also can be it. I don't know. I mean, I think that we're all different in terms of, how your intuition is speaking to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even considering human design, my favorite thing, but not about that.
And how do you feel about, for example, more rational question, like, would you keep doing a thing that you're doing if you wouldn't get paid? Or if you would not have any clients or any watchers? No one would applaud to you, no one would clap. Like, would you keep doing this thing? That's the question I've been asking myself when I was studying coaching. And obviously there was no one clapping to me and there was not many clients and money and things.
I mean, I don't have big audience yet, as you know, but I continue doing that, and sometimes I do perform for, 5-10 people, and I still give the energy like I'm performing for the stadium. That's how I manifest it in the future. But the question was how to...
would the question work?
Keep going.
Would the question work like, would I keep doing that without getting paid, without having clients, without...
I would. I mean, yes, I would do it for sure. And I'm doing it a lot of times without being paid, to be honest, right now, in this stage of my life. But I do know that I want to get financial abundance through performing and through my artistic expression in the future. And that's where I'm going. Because actually, like, even 5 years ago or something, I mean, I made money with music, performing in Russia, like performing at restaurants and stuff, and giving gigs, weddings, and everything. But I didn't really think about, the bigger picture. I started to see the bigger picture, I don't know, maybe just like 2-3 years ago, how it can be. And but I can keep doing that without being paid.
I guess that's the real passion.
Yeah,
That's
because
how
I
it
invest much more than I make right now. So,
that's the part of the journey. So you already share with us your ups when you're on the stage, when you're in your greatest energy. What about downs? Were there any specific situation that really made you question, or a specific situation that was testing you?
You mean like the whole journey, or specifically when I started like releasing my music?
You can tell about the moment that comes into your mind the most.
I mean, even now I feel like I'm getting out of the big down in terms of like for a year, for example, now after, yeah, it's been almost a year since I released something. I released my first music video film. You've been there.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago, and yeah, it's been a year. I haven't been releasing any music videos, and yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Um I'm still not sure why it happened. I mean, there is a big part of like financial thing, like financial support of the music, because it's like releasing music is a pretty expensive process. But of course, I know it's kind of an excuse, because I feel like I just prefer to stay in the box, to hide in some shell again, and just hide myself from the world. And this podcast is actually also, one of the ways for me to get out of that shell. To like, hey, I'm here. I'm an artist. I want to be seen. I'm ready to be seen. Yeah, that was a period of time now where I didn't create much, and there were periods of time like that when I just like, kind of went back a little. I guess that's the time you need to reflect, and sometimes we do have these moments when something we've been doing for years just don't give the same pleasure, same joy, and you start questioning things, and you start thinking maybe it's not my my thing, maybe that's not my purpose actually. But again, I always come back to that little girl, and she like just like reminds me, hey, no, that's your thing, like there's no other way. There, that's what you need to do. Yeah, there were a lot of periods of times when I had fallbacks, like some just were small, when like I was taking singing classes consistently for years, and I had like 3 months of not taking singing classes, for example, just because I didn't have any desire to do it. Then I come back, and then you just have this new spark of inspiration. And I guess it happens with everything, with everyone, artistic expression or any work, anything. If we do something for years, at some point we can lose this passion, and either you stop doing that thing completely or you come back stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the idea that the ones who really become successful in whatever you do is those who didn't give up and just were kept going longer than others?
Yeah.
Because it's not always about like specific talents or financial abilities or the circumstances per se. It's mostly, as I see, people who kept going no matter what was happening and just kept believing in what they do.
Yeah.
So as you noticed, as you mentioned your music video that you released a year ago, I remember I was on that event and I was watching on the big screen and I was crying like a baby. I was just crying my ass off because it was so emotional, it was so charged with real human feelings, with the real human story. I think we can definitely dedicate some time for you to talk about that video, because it's actually a masterpiece. I'll definitely leave the link to the video in the description. But let's talk in general about this video, about inspiration in general and what you create your music from, because you're the author of your songs.
Yeah.
You write original songs.
Yes, I do.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, I guess for me it's my pain, my past trauma and pain that I love to write about. Not like I love doing that. I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna write about my trauma. No, but it just comes naturally, because I truly believe that art, creativity is is the healing tool. It's, creativity, art for sure has this huge healing power. And about the music video, it was inspired by true story. It's the story of my childhood, and it's the trauma, my old scars that affected me. And I guess if we go deeper into spirituality, past lives, I don't know if you believe in that. And
A little bit.
yes, or like other people who watching this, gonna watch this. Like we choose, our soul choose some specific lessons and pain to go through to actually, become who we're supposed to become, right? Like in Buddhism, they say. And I truly believe in that because honestly, I see it like that if I wouldn't face the trauma, in my childhood, the trauma that I faced, I probably would never become an artist. Because, because my pain, like my past pain, was inspiration for my songs.
So, what was the specific trauma, the specific pain? Because not many people know about it.
Mm-hmm.
What was it connected to?
So I made a music video, the whole film, about my family dynamics. I've been healing the unhealthy family dynamics for like past 5 years, and it was my father wasn't there, and my mom, was raising me alone part of the time, and I dealt with, some aggression from my mom, and and also like 2 divorce that I faced was with my dad and then with my stepfather, and how it affected, of course, my vision of family and healthy relationships. I didn't have it. I'm still, building that. That was an inspiration, if we can say that word, inspiration, for my music video, to put this story out there, because I know how many people actually been through that, how many people are healing the unhealthy family dynamics. I think that it can be helpful for a lot of people to actually, to heal, to release the pain, to forgive their parents, because the main intention for me was with that film to forgive my mom fully, because I've been doing that work, but I actually feel like I truly forgiven her when I released that music video.
How's that healing happened? Like, what was the processes behind that? So when you released the video, something clicked and you just were able to let go.
Honestly, it's so hard to explain, but it's been the whole process for like 2 years for me. I started to write a song which was about forgiving your parent, for some things from your past. Actually, like forgiving anyone.
Maybe forgiving yourself as well.
Yeah, of course, and yourself. Well, yeah, first of all, because when you're blaming someone for something for years, you feel, it's like hate in some way. Yeah, you start. Yeah, you address it to yourself first of all, because that's the energy that's eating you inside, and it's not serving you, of course. So yeah, it's that work, that film is about forgiveness, and it was very important for me to release. And coming back to the question, how the process happens, it is difficult, but for me, so when I start writing a song, I started to write a song about forgiving my mom, and I had this like some words, in the song about that, but I didn't feel it inside yet. So the songwriting process was like a manifestation process of that forgiveness. It was like my intention for myself to come to that point, because I'm singing in the song, that I'm not blaming my parents anymore. I'm forgiven, and I'm coming to peace with that, with my past. But I wasn't fully there yet. And while I was working on that piece of art, first on the song and then on the music video, I was getting closer and closer to the point where I'm actually there, like fully released, let go, forgiven my mom and everything. Yeah, so it's just happening like that. I don't know.
It's some sort of affirmation, when you repeat some phrases over and over again. First, you don't believe in that, and then you just train your brain, and through that, you also train your soul to start slowly believing that. And to write a song, I believe you have to repeat things over and over again for thousands of times. So maybe that's just a power of repetition plus reprogramming of yourself. And it's not only, I believe it's not that easy to write a song just about forgiveness, because before that you had to put all pieces of the puzzle together to really see this connection of the events in your life, that this abusive or maybe toxic relationship that your mom was participating in with dad and stepdad also recreated in your life, in your relationship, that you were repeating some of the patterns, some of the scenarios of her life. So everything is so interconnected. And I guess also the part of the work when you had to figure out how exactly those things are connected. What is the consequences? What are the pieces of the puzzle? Put it all together. There was also a big self-work that was done before even creating this song.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. So that's part of the healing power of the art and songs specifically. Have you maybe faced it with your clients as well? Because you teach lots of people, and some people I know come to you to deal with their maybe traumas or triggers or fears of being on the stage or speaking or just being loud, being like taking space. So how does that help to your clients?
I mean, I don't represent myself as, like healing coach or something like that. But yeah, I guide people, teach people to sing and how to perform on stage and how to break through their fears. And but I have different tools like improvising and like just make a lot of mistakes, because first of all, for me, like performing on stage is about like releasing perfection, like because you're gonna make a lot of mistakes in singing, and like it's gonna be messy, like any artistic expression can be messy. You're gonna suck at it, you're gonna be bad, like it's just not possible to be good at that from the start. It's not possible. And I think for my clients, my singing clients, first of all, I'm becoming an example of like you can be scared and you can go there anyway, and you can become better and better and better and better. There is no other way. You just need to allow yourself really to be imperfect and be vulnerable, because on stage you kind of you're naked in front of people, and a lot of things can go wrong, like your voice can crack, and our voice is like very vulnerable thing. You know it yourself.
Absolutely.
Rita is a singer, but she doesn't speak about that much.
Because as you said, it's like being naked.
Yeah, she's a great singer, by the way. I mean, I've heard you. It's if you don't train your voice, if you don't invest time and energy into that, it's like a muscle. You go to the gym, you discipline and everything. The same with the voice, like if you do the splits, and you are doing the splits with, I don't know, let's say 50 kilograms, and you're using your back, lower back, to do the splits, all the time instead of like actually using your glutes, that's not gonna, serve you well. You're gonna get trauma in your body, or like some discomfort, or it's not gonna give you, in the best case scenario, you're just not gonna get as good results as you can. The same with the voice. Just completely the same. Like, a lot of people just don't know what to do here to actually sound how they want to sound, and we need to invest some time in training the voice in sufficient way, because we also have muscles here.
What training the voice can be useful for? Because most of the people just think that I only need to train my voice and learn how to sing if I want to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other applications of that?
I mean, I have some people, some of my clients, singing clients, they come to singing classes, take singing classes, but they actually do it to become better at public speaking, for example. They actually, exactly what they say, like, I'm not planning to become a singer, I'm not planning on performing on stage, but I want to take singing classes because I want to do better as a public speaker, because I know it's gonna develop my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else?
And what's the most common, maybe, challenges that people that come to you are facing?
I mean, there are a lot of things. Again, if we, of course, go to more psychological aspect of singing, it's one of the biggest thing is like, again, it's very vulnerable, it's very difficult to hear yourself, being off the tune and making all these mistakes and your voice cracks and all that stuff. So it's, psychologically speaking, it's mainly because of this like fear of, rejection and being seen, I think. But yeah, I'm trying not to, focus too much energy on that. I mean, I can see in people, how they, like have these fears and insecurities and, maybe some trauma around that. But my approach is like, I'm just gonna like train them, show them that they can do what they want with some training. Their voice have the ability and capacity to do the things they need to do with the voice to actually become better singers. And they start seeing that with time, that actually they becoming better. Of course, I'm not talking about all people. There are some people who just they actually very blocked, and in that case I actually don't work with them because it's not my area of specialty. Like,
it's more like a mental block.
I would say like working with trauma, I can see some people I really blocked. Again, in terms of like chakra blockages, maybe throat chakra blocked and stuff. I don't work like energetically with people. That's not my thing.
Just wanted to ask is anyone can sing?
Let's say it like that.
Because I've heard some people in karaoke, I wouldn't recommend them to sing out loud.
Yeah, but most of people in karaoke are drunk.
True.
And drunk people do stupid shit in general. So, I mean, statistically speaking, just 1% of people in the world are really tone deaf. Like, it's called dysphonia. I'm not sure how to say it in English. Dysphonia.
So it means
dysphonia.
Like you really can't hear the music
when
properly.
Actually 1% of people in the world, when actually your brain doesn't get the frequencies of the sound, different frequencies, and you cannot reproduce them.
Like you
1%
can't tune
of people. 1% of people
out of tune completely. So nothing can help that.
Yeah, pretty much no. You just cannot do anything.
Okay, so
the rest of people can work with the brain muscle connection, because your brain get the frequencies. It's your muscles that do the crazy strange things. If you sound of the tune, it's not because your brain doesn't hear. You hear. I mean, again, there are exceptions. For some people, it takes more training, of course. Some people get fast results. Some people get slow results, like in everything. And singing is something that's not predictable, like I don't know, pretty much like in everything as well. But still, there are like some things, like some course, like in these 3 months I will teach you something, like you become that. In singing, it's cheap marketing for me. I don't like that marketing in terms of singing, because it's bullshit, honestly. Because you cannot learn singing in 2-3 months, but you definitely can become so much better and start understanding your voice and start seeing progress for sure. Invest 1 year, do 1 singing class and do some training for a year. You're not gonna recognize your voice. Seriously, it's gonna be a huge difference. Like, that's for sure.
Nice, I love it. It gives hope to many people who really love karaoke but still want to do it sober and be confident.
Yeah,
in
but
what
some
they're
people
doing.
just, singing just is for pleasure. Not everyone should do.
As art in general, like the main idea of art is just to enjoy it, to let yourself go, to be connected to your soul and to inspiration. And some people create a job out of it, create a career out of it, but
Yeah.
it's not everyone, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
How you being an artist
Mm-hmm.
helped you throughout your life?
Mm-hmm.
What positive things it brought you?
I think that in general, when I'm using my creative energy, I am much more stable emotionally, and my mental health is much better, on the better level. And when I don't use my creative energy, when I suppress what ideas that come into me, and like the music that I should create, that doesn't serve me. Like I'm suppressing creatively becoming like the blockages in my body and in my mind. And in general, again, if even if I'm looking at the whole journey, like 12 years since I started to take singing classes, for example, like I struggled with aggressive behaviors so much, like my anger issues were really bad when I was a teenager. And I started to heal my anger issues, like through the healing, here in Bali, with shamans and different things, and psychedelic therapy, a lot of things, because it was like some things were supposed to be released for me not to feel that anger anymore. But when I started to take singing classes, I was 22, it was 12 years ago. Didn't have psychotherapists yet, like how we have now, healers and everything. And I definitely noticed how in like 2-3 years I became much more calm and not that like explosive as I was before, because I was expressing through my voice. I was expressing something with my voice. So those things didn't affect me that much. I was releasing something through the voice, through the singing. And I guess that's one of the reasons I think that I was attracted to, rock music in the first place, because I needed to release my anger, like all these like crazy sounds. I wanted to learn that. I think that it's definitely because I needed to release my anger, and it helped. I
love it.
On some scale, before I really needed to, to face that shit on a deeper level, in my psychedelic therapy sessions and stuff. Singing was that thing that helped me a lot.
So it's also interconnected what kind of person you are to what kind of music you do, what kind of music you prefer. Like you said, your inner anger wanted to be released, and rock music is something that matched the best to release that anger.
Yeah. It's crazy, because even like I wrote one very angry song once, like it's called "Daddy Issues," to my dad, to release my anger. And there was a period of time when I was singing that song, and then at some moment I didn't want to sing that song anymore. I'm still for some reason now coming back to it again. And I want to release it because I think it's gonna be helpful for some people who faced the same thing, who carry the anger towards their fathers. But yeah, like I was angry and I was releasing that through my song, through the art on stage. And at some point I was like, oh my God, I don't feel that anymore. I don't want to sing that song. And it was such a shame because I love that song, but I didn't want to sing it anymore because it's just so much anger there, so much pain.
Imagine how those pop stars that wrote songs like 10 years ago about some breakup, divorce, or their loved one dying, and they have to keep singing it over and over again for decades with a full emotional contribution
Yeah.
because people love those songs.
I don't know how they do that. I feel like I'm gonna be the artist who just like, oh my God, there are 10 songs that I wrote. I don't feel like singing any of those. I'm just, whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna be in depression for a couple of years.
I also wanted to discuss with you the topic of inspiration, because I guess for any kind of artist, inspiration is the crucial thing, like the muse that comes randomly, leaves randomly, and based on the presence of this muse, of this inspiration, you either create things or you don't. How does it work for you?
Yeah, I mean, inspiration is a thing, muse is a thing, but it also takes discipline, your favorite topic. It does take discipline because you can start writing something out of inspiration, but you're never gonna finish it if you don't have discipline. So you can, I wrote songs, like I just went to Ubud for 2 days and like I just was sitting with piano, and actually I truly feel like the muse came to me, something higher, came to me and just like started to whisper words and melody into, my ears. But I would never finish the song if I would just like wouldn't take, when the muse is gone, you need to take time every day to put it into the finished product, because there is no other way. Like you can't. I mean, if you work with some, producer, that's actually why I love to work with a producer, because he can, help you to see those missed points, the things that you don't see, and actually you together like finish the product. But yes, in general, I love the approach in creativity that like to take this like 20-30 minutes of just like I sit down and write, and one day it's gonna be like I suck, I don't know. I don't know what to write. The other day it's gonna be 2 lines, the other day it's gonna be the whole verse of the song, just came. Maybe it's gonna be 2 words, and the other day the muse will decide to visit you because she's gonna be free and available, and she will be like, hey, that's the whole song for you here. But yeah, in general, when I start writing a song, I know that in order to finish it, I need to sit down, and I have this like 20 minutes of songwriting discipline. Like I sit down for 2 weeks every day for 20 minutes and I write.
Are you afraid of losing that inspiration? What if it's never gonna come back? The muse will never come back.
I mean, I don't have it sometimes. It's okay. I totally understand, that if I would do these 20-30 minutes every day, every day of my life, I would already have 2 or 3 albums probably, but I'm not there yet. But yeah, when I do have an idea of the song, I know that in order to finish it, I need to sit down and write, and it's gonna become, from this 30%, it will come to 80-90%.
How to write a song? Is there any rules or something briefly you can share?
There are no rules, pretty much. There are so many ways you can start write a song, and there are many ways to start writing a song. I don't know. For me, it's always I just sit with piano. I play 2-3 chords. I'm not a great musician. Honestly, like my skills in instrument playing in piano is very primitive, like so primitive. Um, I don't know music theory that much. Like, I'm not crazy music theory person. But yeah, I love to improvise with the melody, with my voice. And then I start having some lines, some words. And then I start, playing with that. And I start to understand more what the song is about, because you cannot really know beforehand what you're writing about. I mean, sometimes we do have, like, okay, I'm gonna write a song about this. But most of the times, for me specifically, again, it doesn't work for everyone. There are no rules. There are really no rules. I just start playing with the melody, and then I realize what's the song about, because again, it's coming. Something is coming, like from deep within. And yeah, my job as an artist just like to play with that, to trust that, and I'm still learning how to do that, to trust those creative impulses and ideas that come to me, because I have a very strong mind, and there are a lot of times when I just like just forget about it, it's stupid, but then like if I come back to that, actually that can be something. So yeah, I'm just playing with the idea, with the melody, and then I can understand later what is it about, and what's trying to emerge. Yeah, even that song that I made the music video for, Nobody Else to Blame. We just met with Jeremy, that's my producer now. We met with him just to to jam, to play together. We didn't have any ideas. It was first time we saw each other, and he's like, "What do you want to write about? Do you have any ideas?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Zero." I'm like, "Let's just go with the flow." And he's like, "Okay." And then he's like, "How are you doing? How are you doing today? How are you feeling?" And I was dealing with like my anger at that time, about my past, about my childhood, about my mom. I was like crazy anger like coming up from me. And I started just telling him, like, just whining, and like a like a girl on PMS, like just like, what, I went to just this happened and I feel this way. And he's like looking at me, and he was so patient, like, and listening to me. And he's like, "I guess we have a topic for the song." I'm like, "Huh? What? Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, it feels like a very powerful thing to write about. I'm like, okay, I didn't even see it this way. And which I'm very grateful to him. Like, he's an amazing person to work with. And yeah, we start writing. He started playing the guitar. I started singing something, improvising, again without even thinking about what I'm doing, and some words start, coming out, some melodies, and yeah, that's how it happened with that song.
I'm happy to hear that you have a producer, so now you're not alone, and there is someone else who supports you constantly, who believes in you, and also helps you through your journey, because it's not easy to go through this journey alone.
Yeah.
And also, just very curious, what was maybe things about the music industry in general that once you're in there, you were surprised or even shocked, and knowing that?
I mean, I
Something
wouldn't
that's
say that I'm, like I am in the music industry, but I'm not on that, like big scale. Shocking. I don't know. Just, what comes to me right now. I read a quote today, actually. It was saying artists don't burn out creating art, they just burn out creating content.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
I'm like, damn, yes. And for me, it's the reality of things right now.
You also need to
2025,
promote and sell
everyone
stuff.
needs to do content. Honestly, I think it's the only reason why I'm still not popular. I mean, again, it's an excuse. I understand and I am where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, I'm still not fully, in peace with the idea that I need to do all this like Instagram promotion. I still, there is a part of me that still believes that okay, I don't need to do that, and I still, will become popular, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
So I guess I will have to play
By the
this
rules
game,
of the
and
industry.
accept these rules of the game of yeah the. But yeah, I truly believe that I will be able to find this balance, between creating content with my music and promoting it, building audience, but without burning out. I truly believe it's possible, but again, I'm not there yet.
It is possible, and sometimes I hear those phrases that you're saying that I wish I would be there, but I am where I need to be right now. And through those phrases, I really feel the level of healing that you've been through, because this kind of acceptance is the level that you actually have to work so hard to reach. Just to really accept where you are and be grateful for this part of the journey. It might be not the fastest or the most fun part of the journey, but it's essential. And yeah, I feel your level of healing already, so and level of acceptance. So probably the last question so far is, wherever you are on your journey right now, even if you don't feel like you've been through everything already and you're at that point of a success, but still you've been through a lot, to any other person who's going through the same journey, who would listen to your story, feel aligned, feel that he is going through the same path, what would be your biggest insight that can become this person's shortcut? Something that you learned throughout this journey.
Find ways to create. Just create. Really, if the idea comes to you, if you have music to share with the world, don't wait for the ideal moment. Again, if you don't have, of course, the team yet, you don't have a huge financial support, just share the art with the world. I think that everyone has very unique path, how it's gonna unfold for them. For example, I know people, who build businesses, they like have finances, and then they release music, and it comes easy for them in terms of finances because they just have financial support, and they have money to invest in music, and they release music. And there are people who who don't have finances, for example, to record music, but they still find a way, and they do that. There are a lot of artists on TikTok who just share some demos without investments, and they become big. They perform on stadiums in I don't know, in 1 year, 2 years, and but we all struggle with the same thing. It's this overthinking and thinking about if your art is worthy of sharing and stuff. But one of the advices I would give also, I think, is don't try to fit into the box. Don't try to think either people will like it or not. That's Rick Rubin, one of the most popular producer, the biggest producer in the world. I really, really love what he's saying. That never think about the audience. Just if it's your art, You don't need to, think about the audience who will like it, because that's the path to, failure. Because if you think about the audience first, you're not becoming an artist. Like, you're not an artist anymore. If you're an artist, you think about what you want to create, you create it, and then you find people, you find people who like it, and who is attracted to that. I just really resonate with that. I'm like, sometimes people ask me like, oh, don't you want to like, wouldn't be easier to like to create some like pop music, like some pop songs to become popular? I'm like, no. I mean, it's not me. Like, no, just no. I wouldn't do that. I know some people do that. They release some pop song to become popular, and then they start making music that's less mainstream.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not for me, for sure. Maybe my path is gonna be much longer, but I've chosen it.
But you're already on the path. That's also some understanding that came to me fairly recently, is that we always think that following your purpose is one specific moment when you are successful and you reach it all and you did it all and you succeeded. But following the purpose is a journey, and once you stepped on this journey, you're already there. Like, this whole process, it's already this. It's already the journey. Like, you don't have to wait to this imaginary moment where everything will be nice and easy, and most likely it's going to be boring. It's already this. And how often when we look backwards, we kind of miss those moments of struggle, those years of trying to figure it out who I am, because once you did, it's like, it's fairly boring. So being an artist, I guess, is the journey of constant place of vulnerability. Keep getting more naked and more naked for yourself and for the audience.
Yeah.
It's not an easy path, but definitely a very exciting one.
Yeah, it is. And exactly what you said, vulnerability. It's exactly the artist job is to get to become friends with the vulnerability, because there is no other way. Like, if you not being vulnerable, if you're afraid to be vulnerable, and that's actually one of the things that been stopping me from writing my music and releasing my songs, is actually vulnerability, because I was so scared to to be seen as not perfect as who I am. And I didn't even know who I am, like 5 years ago. And just continue working with psychedelic medicine, and it cracked me open. And
now you know who you are.
I do, I do. But I mean, that's there are always layers, to peel, that's gonna show you more and more and more and more and more of who you are. And there are always gonna be moments of like, oh, that's who I was, 6 months ago or 1 year ago. I don't want to be that anymore. It's consistent transformation into a better version of yourself. That's the most important thing for me in life. This consistent transformation, even though I'm tired of that sometimes, not gonna lie. Sometimes it's overwhelming and exhausting, but again, there's no other way. And my art is a huge reflection of that journey. And I even have this like one song now that I can't release for like 2 years now. And I understand why on the deeper level, because this song will represent me as a like new version, and that's why I still haven't released it. because I don't know. There's, I guess, I'm still, getting some puzzles together. Again, I don't know. Like it can seem like some, excuses, and on some level, I understand. On mental level, there are excuses, but again, when I look deeper, I'm like, again, I cannot be like, if I haven't released this song for 2 years, I am where I am because these 2 years I was that person who was not ready for some reason to release it. Okay, that's where I am. That's who I am right now. But yeah, I can change that. I know that I will come to a different place at some point.
I love it. I love it. That's the journey of peeling yourself and also coming to some sort of acceptance.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for today's conversation. I think it was quite insightful and pretty valuable for at least one person who will hear it up there. And thank you all of you for watching us today. Just learning who you really are through what you do, and allow your art, what you do, to heal you, to peel you, and to make you your real version, make you you. So thank you for watching today. Like, follow, subscribe, do whatever you want. Just put some comments so I would know what you think. And I'll see you in the next episodes.
Bye.
Bye. Oh la la. Yay. We're done.